Hey, what is up guys, Bonfiggy here, and today I'm bringing you guys a pretty epic gameplay. This is actually a 107 kill specialist gameplay on the map Dome. Obviously it was 6v6 domination and it was extremely fast paced, so I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay in the background. I do also want to mention this was a quad MOAB fail, and I got really nervous, especially on the first streak, because I think I died on a 19 gun streak at around 25 points, and I knew if I would have gotten that MOAB, I definitely would have been able to get at least a triple, if not a quad MOAB, if I would have been able to keep my momentum going. So I definitely did fail on the quad MOAB. I died on a 19 gun streak as well as a 20 gun streak, and then I got a double MOAB. But 107 kill specialist, especially for 6v6 domination, I thought was definitely a really good amount of kills. So that's enough about the gameplay, guys. I do want to say that I'm actually going to be talking about procrastination, and I'm also going to be giving you guys some tips on how to get out of class, which is something I probably should not be doing, but either way I'm going to do it. I was actually talking to some of my friends at my new school about what I used to do in my old school, how to get out of class, that kind of stuff. And I'm not really sure if I'll be able to do it at this school. It all depends on how strict they are, but I'm actually going to a private school now, and they tend to be a lot stricter than public schools, definitely, so I'm not really sure if I can get away with it. I haven't really tried anything like that yet because I'm a new student. I don't want to get a bad reputation just yet, so I don't know, just make sure that you keep in mind that these things can get you in trouble. And don't always do it. It's only if you have a test you really didn't study for, or you just had a pop quiz, something like that. So the first technique that I used was to go to the nurse's office. What you would do, say the teacher would announce that you had a pop quiz, something like that, or you just had a test. Sometimes you have those days where you just completely blanked out the day before and you didn't know that you had a test that day. So what you can do, you can tell your teacher that you aren't feeling good. Usually it's to say something extreme like you're gonna puke, something like that, and they'll most of the time let you go to the nurse's office, and they pretty much always have to do that, so it works out pretty well in my opinion anyways, or at least it worked out pretty well for me. So what you do, you go to the nurse's office, and especially if your school doesn't have air conditioning or something like that, it's a hot day, sometimes you'll actually be able to be sent home, because usually if your school doesn't have air conditioning and you're in a hotter area, I live in Ohio, so it can get pretty hot in the summer, definitely in the winter it can get pretty cold as well. But yeah, sometimes I've been actually sent home. My mom has picked me up, and the reason being was because I had a high temperature. I was feeling fine, but the thing is, since the school didn't have air conditioning, my temperature was a lot higher than usual, so that's one thing. And also, if you're not running a temperature or anything like that, you can just say you have a really bad headache, something like that, to the nurses, and they'll usually just let you lay down in the nurse's office for a little bit, and you can pretty much just miss that entire period if you play it right. So that's just one tip I can give you guys. That always worked out pretty well for me, and it's the least riskiest as well. You never would really get in trouble for doing anything like that, so definitely would recommend doing something like that if you absolutely have to. And I do a little sneaky transition right here. It looks like I'm still in the same streak, although my specialist bonus did disappear. And I don't know, I just realized that when I was editing this video, I kind of noticed that the streaks, they kind of intercombined, and I think this is the 20 gun streak fail. I think I had to like turn on the guy, and I just couldn't quite turn on him, so I died. But either way, I still thought this was a really good streak, so I wanted to include it and show you guys that it was indeed a quad MOAB fail. But yeah, that's the first technique, and then the second technique for getting out of class. It's really risky, but it's also really effective. Now, I would recommend grabbing something, maybe a piece of paper to draw on, or bring, if you have a smartphone, something like that. I always would go on Twitter, but what I would do, the period before I had the test when we were switching classes, I would go and sit in a bathroom stall, one of the boys' bathroom stalls, for the whole entire period. Now, this is dependent on whether they check the attendance or not, or if they're really strict with it. I know with my teachers, as long as you were there at the beginning of school, they didn't have to check it for the rest of the day. They kind of just expected that you were going to be at class. So it worked out pretty well for me. I never got in trouble doing this. And what I would do, I just would sit in the bathroom for the whole entire period. That was only if I knew that I had a test. Now, if you had an unexpected test, obviously you're going to have to tell the teacher that you didn't feel good, or you could just take the test. But I wouldn't recommend that because, you know, grades, they are important, and if you just say that you don't feel good, you can get out of the test, that kind of thing, and you can just study for it the next day like you normally would, get a better grade than you normally would have. So that's something that I would recommend. But yeah, if you're going to sit in the bathroom like me, especially when you have like 80-minute class periods, that's how it was for my high school. I'm actually at a new high school now where it's only 40-minute class periods, but definitely make sure you bring something to entertain yourself for the time being. And that's just a quick tip. So make sure that you aren't very strict with attendance or anything like that, because you can get in some deep trouble. And another thing you should do is, if you have that teacher for the rest of the day, I wouldn't do that, but I would say that just make sure you don't run into that teacher or talk to her for the rest of the day, because she'll kind of wonder what was up, something like that. So that's just my tips. And then the last thing I want to talk about today was procrastination. And I don't know what it is, man, but whatever it is, if I have a test, if I have homework to do, it seems like I always end up doing it at like 9 o'clock at night when I want to go to bed, and it's kind of weird, actually. Normally when you're in like middle school or, you know, elementary school, when you're a littler kid, you always want to go to bed at a later time, like midnight, something like that. But nowadays, since I don't get much sleep, I probably get like 6 hours of sleep on a day on average, and I just want to go to bed like at like 9 o'clock, and I have to wake up at 6 o'clock, so I just want to go to bed as early as possible, but I always end up procrastinating, and I have to do my homework late at night. I know a lot of people are really good when it comes to that, and they end up doing their homework right when they get home from school, which is something that I can't do, because usually when I get home from school, I make a video and then upload it for you guys, and then I'll just screw around on YouTube for the rest of the day and then just procrastinate the shit out of myself, and I'll end up doing the homework either the next day and just rushing through it during class, not doing the best job I could be doing, or I'll just do it late at night and then I'll be extremely tired the next day. So let me know if you guys have any problems with procrastinating, or if you have any tips on not procrastinating for me. I would definitely appreciate it, but that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please be sure to leave the video a like. If we could hit 400 likes on this video, that would be awesome. And one last thing, if you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I'd like to bring some pretty good gameplays almost every single day. I know I haven't been uploading much, but if we hit 400 likes on this video, I'll upload another video right away for you guys. So I hope you did enjoy. And yeah, guys, I'm out. Peace.